G'day everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to check the oil pump on a BMW M60 V8. If you own an E34 540i like me, or an E32 740i, then you definitely want to watch along. Why? Because your oil pan probably looks like this. Or in my case, like this. But don't stress, it's a simple fix and I'm here to step you through it. So let's go check out what tools we'll need. Like always, you'll need a car jack and some axle stands to get the front of your car in the air. You'll need a 10mm socket to get your oil pan off, a 13mm socket and spanner to adjust some oil pump bolts, and a 17mm spanner to drain your oil. You'll either need an 8mm hex bit socket in combination with a 1/4" ratchet, or just an 8mm Allen key to tension your oil pump chain. Finally, you'll need any ratchet and a torque wrench. Let's go check out the parts. This is the lower oil pan gasket. This is the only part you have to replace when pulling off your pan. And this is your part number here. Now I'm also going to change my oil. If you want a more detailed version, go and check out my other video showing you how to do that. Start by jacking up your car and lowering it onto the axle stands. Then use a 17mm spanner to undo the sump plug and drain out all your oil. Once drained, reinstall the plug for safekeeping. Remove the lower engine cover by unscrewing the 4 retaining nuts. There's 2 on each side of the car. On the left hand side of the oil pan, there's an oil sensor. Unplug and unclip it. Now comes the slow part. Go around with a 13mm socket and take out all the oil pan bolts. I like to remove every second one first, followed by the rest. Try not to lose any of the spring washers while doing this, and make a note of how tight the bolts are. With all the bolts out, use a metallic third leg to carefully lower your oil pan away from the car. So this is the bottom of the engine. And if you look here, that's a bolt. That is not meant to be there. We better find where it came from, huh? Looking from the front of the car, this big hunk of metal here is the oil pump. The oil pump is driven using this chain, which, as you can see, is very loose and needs tightening. The bolt that we found is one of the 2 main mounting bolts for the pump, and it's meant to be in place here on the left. If you found a nut loose rather than a bolt, it's likely to be from the other mount here on the right hand side of the pump. This nut needs to be tightened to 22mm or 16.23 foot-pounds, so use the torque wrench and check that it's correct. Looking from the back of the car now, this is the rear of the pump. You can see that it's held together by these M6 bolts. These are known to fall out as well, so make sure to check that these are nice and tight and that you aren't missing any. These only have to be tightened to 10Nm or 7.3 foot-pounds, so check that they are snug, but be very careful not to over tighten them as you'll strip the aluminium. Before we reinstall the missing bolt, we should tighten up the chain. The left-hand mount doubles as a tensioner, and you can insert an 8mm hex bit or an 8mm Allen key into it to adjust out the slack. Adjust the chain so that it's slightly firm, as I'm showing here. Clean up the missing bolt and apply some Loctite. Then reinstall it and tighten it to 22Nm or 16.23 foot-pounds using the torque wrench. Using a rag, clean up the gasket surface on the engine. Pry up the old gasket from the oil pan, give the pan a clean, and then replace it with your shiny new gasket. Help yourself out by pumping your third leg and raising the pan back into position under the engine. Go around and install all the oil pan bolts finger tight, making sure to alternate sides as you install them. Then, tighten them all to 10 Nm or 7.3 foot-pounds in a crisscross pattern so that the gasket isn't unevenly loaded. Tighten your sump plug before you forget. Fill up the engine oil, give it a clean, and then turn the key and check for any leaks. The next morning I took the car out for a scenic cruise around Brisbane, and as you can see in here, everything seems okay. And that's how to check and tighten the oil pump on a BMW M60 V8. If you have this engine, make sure you check this. If you enjoyed the video, please drop me a like so I know, or leave a comment and let me know how many bolts you found. Good luck, I hope this video helps, and thanks for watching.